Hi, my name is Philip, and I am a child of God. I wasn't always that way, though. I used to be the guy that the police might shine a bright light in your face. Nowadays, you shine a bright light in my face, I just instantly start denying everything. I wasn't there, I didn't do it, my name's not Philip. You know, that type of thing, you know. I was a substance abuser. I came to God from a really, really, really dark place. And so that you all can understand what it is and how that I don't stand a chance without God. I'll tell you my story. I was a substance abuser for most of my life. I did not start drinking until I was 13 years old. I waited as absolutely as long as I possibly could to start drinking. 13. I had been restless and irritable and discontent for a very, very long time. And when I was young, I didn't learn my lifestyle from my parents because my dad was a preacher and he had a successful ministry in Chicago. But because he loved God so much and he loved us so much, he didn't want us to be in that environment in Chicago that was so crime-ridden and so immoral. So we got moved out of Chicago before my senior year of high school. And the fact of the matter is that I was being given the opportunity for a wonderful education. But the feeling was that I was being punished by my parents. And I don't know what I had done to be punished. And I was emotionally devastated by that. And again, the facts and the feelings, completely different. I don't know about you, but I seldom pay any attention to the facts. I was completely ruled by my emotional being. Before then, I was living in Chicago. I got an opportunity to get away from home by going to high school as far away from home as I could. And I chose a school called Lindblom Technical High School. And in high school, I met the cool guys. And the cool guys became my friend. And I became their friend. And they introduced me to alcohol. And I don't really know how I got started or how it continued, but you know, nobody died that first night that I got high. Nobody went to prison. You know, nobody shed any blood. No blood was drawn that night. Nobody went to the nut house. All of those things were about to happen, but that wasn't my experience at that time. All I knew was that you feel better than you ever felt before in your life. Nothing bad happens. And I made a decision right then that I was going to do this as often as I can. And I did for the next 34 years of my life. I decided I was going to do this as often as I could, and for every day that I possibly could for the next 34 years of my life, I got high, or I got low. And I had many good reasons along the way to stop. I'm not talking about, here's a good reason, Philip, to stop. I'm talking about neon signs over the highway that's saying, stopping now would be an extremely good idea. But I never even touched the brakes. I thought that my life was, I thought I was invulnerable. I thought I could just continue to do this for on and on and on, and just things would just be nice for the rest of my life. Until people started going to jail. Until I started getting in trouble. I became homeless. So many negative things began to happen in my life. And I started remembering, the Bible says you train up a child in the way he should go. When he's old, he won't depart. I started remembering those things that my dad and my mom were talking about how God could change my life and how it could be better and how we could have life and liberty and joy and peace and happiness and all those things that I didn't have at that time. I came to the Lord seriously 21 months ago. And, you know, after being a crackhead and an alcoholic for 34 years, you would imagine that it would take a whole long time for God to really do a work in your life. But I can honestly say within these 21 months, God has made a dramatic change in my life. I love the Lord. I love people. I love the things that God is doing in my life. He's prospered my way in a short amount of time. He's prepared every situation in my life to make me a benefit to other people. He placed me into ministries. I was in 5 different ministries before this week. I just had to drop one, you know, because all I want to do now is serve other people, help other people. I have so many negative life experiences with my own thinking and so many positive ways that God has changed them, I know I have a testimony, a way to share with somebody how that it doesn't have to be this way in your life. That's what I bring to the table, and that's what I hope these kids get out of my story.